Scarpins Avenue.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Sklarbro Country, the virus edition, aka Two Guys, One Couch,
aka Two Bros, No Garden Hose,
aka the Pandy Pods,
aka One Egg, Four Legs,
aka Two Dudes, No Bad Attitudes,
aka Jort Center.
Just me.
We are here. We are wanting to talk to you guys about a lot of things that are going on in the world right now, and there are a lot of stories that are coming our way that we want to bring up. We also, though, from time to time throughout this podcast, because we have this mouthpiece, we get to tell you about things in our own lives and how they relate to this pandemic.
Right.
And choices that we make that sometimes come back on us and we have to deal with. And so we're going to start the show talking about a tweet and an Instagram post that we made today. So this is
coming out tomorrow. So
So
it was yesterday.
we did in the morning, and we debated about doing this, but we tweeted out a photo of Donald Trump walking down
Gingerly baby stepping down
his way down a ramp.
You know,
And
the way
a powerful man, who's the strongest, most powerful man in the world, would do.
the way the guy who would be the head of the Law and Order president would take tiny baby steps
And
down.
hold on to another man's hand.
Yeah.
So I said Donald Trump's,
the picture of strength.
Donald Trump's least favorite vegetable, ramps. Donald Trump's favorite vegetable, himself. Okay, so I put that on there, and then on the actual post in the caption, I said, "Right foot, left foot. You're doing it. He's doing it. He's actually doing it." And then I hashtagged it, and this was maybe my mistake. Maybe I shouldn't have even hashtagged.
This might have been your mistake.
I hashtagged it. Vote out Trump. So
Vote out Trump.
yeah,
Not coup.
not
Not
destroy
assassinate.
him. Not he's a piece of shit.
You could have done
simply
that.
said I made fun of him,
And then you
I
said,
simply said,
vote him out.
Vote him out. And the amount of comments we've gotten on this chain,
Insane.
The insanity. Also,
We've lost followers.
We lost 100 followers, which we go back to what Kyle Kinane posted, and I agree with that. If you're losing people over a joke, or if you're losing people over
You didn't want him in the first
you didn't
place.
want it in the first place. You would have liked our humor anyway. Have you been watching what we've been putting up? We're basically roasting anyone who's not supporting progress in the Pandy Pods. That's what we do on
But
this
if you're
podcast.
against progress, then
So
there's the door.
What's funny about it is people, of course, take the time to step back in and say, "I forgot how unfunny you guys are. Thanks for reminding me."
Yeah.
Or, "I
welcome.
used to like you. I remember when you guys were funny, but it's been a long way since you've gotten political." Here's my question. If we take it on face value,
Sure.
you can't argue with the ramps joke.
You can't.
The ramps joke is funny. It's just funny.
My favorite are people who are like, ramps, really? You guys are really reaching. I'm like, ramps is a...
That's the exact. There
That's
is
a-
no reach to make that.
That
joke.
is a vegetable. Like, how is that a reach? In what
There's
way
no
is that
reach. It's the most relevant, tightest, shortest, direct way to rip this guy in
It's
this
like,
moment based
you know
on
how
something that
a
happened.
ramp is like the shortest way to get down something instead of using stairs? This is like the ramp of jokes.
So ramp. Maybe this person didn't know.
This
what
is the ramp of jokes. Like most people would just walk right down it. You had to take little baby steps and hold on to someone because you couldn't get
You couldn't
down.
handle it.
You couldn't handle the quick way
Look,
to the joke.
Now let me say this. And we've had people lose it. We've tried to take our time. The guy who said, "I remember when you guys were funny," I was like, "Hang in there, buddy. We'll make you laugh again." I was nice to that guy.
Yeah.
There are other people who were rude about it.
Sure.
But I would ask those people, if this joke offended you so much, okay,
Taking a shot at this guy.
I would ask you, if Biden were gingerly walking down a ramp and we chose to make that joke about him, maybe not the second part, but the first part, but whatever. Let's just say we made the full joke about him. I wonder if you would think it's a bad joke.
No.
I wonder if you would think it was a reach.
Yeah.
I wonder if you think you would say to yourself, "I remember when these guys were funny, but they're not funny anymore."
That's right.
What is it about the joke that you didn't like? What is it about what we did that you can't handle? And I know I'm talking to a bunch of people who could
believe
handle
in
the
us
joke
and can handle
but
everything.
I'm saying to the people who were hair on fire, angry, like we
over
posted.
themselves.
It's like you know what it reminded me of in so many ways. It reminded me of when a player on one sports team says, man, I can't wait to take it to those guys. We're gonna destroy them. And then someone from the other team's like, bulletin board material.
Bulletin board material.
Bulletin board material. These guys are talking smack about you.
Yeah.
You better get up for it. I don't know why that guy mouthed off and said that.
Yeah. Shouldn't have done
Why
that.
did that guy mouth off and
Shouldn't have done that.
Shouldn't have said we're going to win? We're going to beat you?
Like, what is Trump going to do? Get Russia's help more to steal this election? He's already got it.
And look, if you don't agree with us and you don't think he stole the election, and you don't think all those things, fine. There were plenty of people who I do want to...
It just means that you don't agree with our intelligence. But that's fine. That's
Right,
fine. Don't
right.
agree with our intelligence.
Or don't
agree with the...
not our intelligence.
Not our intelligence. I'm talking about the nation's intelligence agencies. Don't agree with them. They're all wrong. Every single agency that said that they meddled in our election, they're all wrong. You're right. Your hunch and your belief in a guy who's done nothing but lied versus reams of information.
It's like the people who are denying that climate change is a real thing.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
I walked outside the other day. It was 75 degrees in June.
And science isn't always right. No, science isn't always right. But when the whole scientific community comes to consensus, and when you see like polar bears floating by like Maine on ice cubes, I think we know what's going on.
I think we have an idea.
But there were people who, and I do want to talk about this side of it as well. There were people who were like, hey, I think this joke was beneath you, which again, I disagree with.
No,
because I think we made a joke. We're comedians. The guy had trouble down a ramp.
I
had to make a ramp joke.
You got to make a ramp joke.
Yep. All right. I made a joke based off of a very recognizable moment.
Guy who during the 2016 presidential campaign falsely claimed that his opponent was not fit, that she was sick, that she couldn't handle. Falsely claimed with no information whatsoever.
Right.
So everyone's okay with that, but the ramp joke is beneath us.
Right. Ramp joke is beneath us. What beneath us? How? We're comedians. We make jokes. There's not a lot beneath us.
Dana Gould said the reason he had a trouble going down the ramp is that he wears lifts, which are like high heels, which are difficult to walk on. He also wears a girdle and he also wears a lot of hairspray. Donald Trump is basically my aunt. To which I replied, "I'm sorry to hear that your aunt has mental problems."
All right, that's another joke. So maybe look, and I think about this all the time. I'm like, I am actually grateful in a weird way that we are not in a crazy echo chamber. We're only people who support 1,000,000% what we do.
Yeah, it's good to hear.
It is good to hear other opinions. It is also cool when people respond with the comment, "Hey, I like you guys. I didn't love this joke. It offended me or whatever, but I'm still going to keep supporting you."
Yeah,
keep
someone's
bringing
like, "I'm a libertarian. I didn't vote for Trump. I'm a libertarian. I don't think this isn't my style, but I still like you guys."
Or someone said, "Hey, just insulting the guy stoops to that level, and it doesn't give people who are liberals the upper hand when it comes to the moral argument." And they made a very concise argument for that. The thing is, we're not Don Lemon, and we're also not Anderson Cooper, and we're not MSNBC. We're just comedians who have opinions, who are going to look for jokes and then voice the opinions.
Yeah.
We're not a news outlet.
Yeah.
Although we have a lot of credibility. But what I'm saying is I appreciate that we have a mixed audience in terms of views.
Cool.
It's cool. It is cool. And I am sad when people leave because one joke offended them. But I don't blame us. And I don't blame us for taking that shot.
No. You got to take that shot.
As a comic.
At that guy, too.
Okay.
At that guy.
But
like, give me a break.
So as comics, we have staked a lifetime on the concept that we are going to take risks. If you do not take any risks, you will end up nowhere.
Right.
And some people say we've ended up nowhere.
Right.
But I will say, to that, I will say no, because we're still writing, we're still creating, we're still taking risks on stage, and we're still taking risks on our social media. And one of the risks is that you're going to lose people. People are going to get mad at something you say.
That's right. That's right.
And you go.
And this is out there to anybody who's listening. This is out there to, we're speaking directly to, Reverend Dr. Christopher Stackhouse. I'm sure you say things that may upset and inflame people, and you might even inflame some of the people in your congregation. And they're like, I didn't like that. You got to take that risk sometimes.
You have to take that risk. That's the only way we grow is we take risks. We learn from them. We try to do better from them. I don't regret doing that joke. I don't regret putting it out there. But it's a fascinating thing. And anyway, that's what happened to us yesterday. We'll continue to monitor the situation. I will say this. I mean, I know when we get 1,000 likes on something, then that sort of resonates with us.
Yes, it kind
of within our following, that is a pretty well received post, and we're there.
And 100 or so comments. That usually means there is a lot of you've struck a nerve. By the way, that is always a great thing with comedy. When you strike a nerve, the worst thing is to be digging not near the source,
right? So or saying something and having someone say, I could take it or leave it, right? So if we made you mad, good,
yeah.
And if we made you happy, great. We're going to keep trying to make comedy. We're going to keep doing it. We're going to do it on the other side of this break. But we just want to share with you some of our process when we put material out there and receive instant feedback, which is
sometimes great and sometimes not great.
And it's something that hasn't been part of a comic's life until the last couple years.
Exactly.
Because of social media.
And overall, I agree with you, Jay. I'm happy we did it.
Me too.
I'm glad.
We lost 100 plus.
It sucks that we lost that, but we can take the heat. Yep. So there you go. All right, we'll be back right after this break with another story, and we're going to get into something crazy on the other side of this break. This is Sklarbro Country, the Virus Edition. Stay with us. Hey guys, welcome back to the show. I want to remind you that we have a YouTube page. YouTube, you go to Sklarbro Country, and you can subscribe to it. We are starting to put up the Okendo special,
which I'm so excited. I watched that. The first one is up. The opening thing is up, where we talk to our dad. If you want to know who we are as people and you want to get an understanding of what we're like, watch that. Because you will see who our dad is in like a minute and a half. Only time he's ever been on TV. Not an actor. Was kind of a funny guy, but wasn't like the kind. I don't know how we got him so comfortable just to do it. He was great.
He was great.
He was great in it.
Well, more than being just great, he was
himself.
Right. He was the guy that we knew. He wasn't being something that he wasn't. He was very much within himself. I got to credit to Mitch Scher, the guy who produced it and directed it. He's fantastic, our good friend. I mean, he helped us with that thing. And
I think because he spent a little time in our house and around Dad and all that stuff, it was
great. This was Dad before he got sick. This was it was beautiful. It was really, I'm so happy we have that. I go back and look at it. It's beautiful. So look at it. It's on the YouTube page, YouTube, Sklarbro Country. Subscribe and then go watch a bunch of that stuff. Also, we're going to be on this awesome show on TBS, Tournament of Laughs. I'm so excited about doing this show. It's like a NCAA style tournament. 32 comedians go, and I'm not a big fan of going against each other in comedy, but it's just going to be fun. Just really funny, great people. Margaret Cho, Jeff Ross, Triumph the Insult Comic, Sarah Tiana, Best Stelling, Mateo Lane, Gilbert Gottfried, all these great people. Jim Norton, like Josh Wolf, incredible people, great friends of ours, going to do great comedy bits that you put Moshe Cash and Natasha Leggero, and then you sort of work through the tournament. Sunday, June 21st, 7 p.m. West Coast time.
It's called Tournament of Laughs. Just DVR the whole series and watch us in it. And I think you can vote for us.
Yeah. So if you see us and you see our bit on there, vote for it if you want. And let's get into this last story, shall we?
Yes.
Okay. Everybody speak up so we know who you are. Just speak up.
Loud and clear.
Yeah. It's not difficult if you have a business to support equal rights.
Yeah. I think what's been weirdly put as diametrically opposed throughout this whole process is I'm a businessman and I care about my business and I care about advancing and progressing our society for equal laws and equal treatment for everyone.
Right.
Those two things do not have to be mutually exclusive.
No,
those two things don't have to be diametrically opposed.
To ask the country to listen to people who have felt like the knee of oppression has been on the back of their neck for too long, it's actually really easy to do.
And you know what? In a weird way,
it makes you look good.
And it's good for business.
It's great for business.
It's good for certain kinds of business. Some people you might lose.
But some people
you might gain.
For life. For life. And really, any moment it's good for. Not just this moment right now. Anything to the contrary, and you're going to get in trouble. That's just the rule if you own a business right now.
Right now, when awareness is heightened if you're going to buck the trend right now, if you're going to feel the need to get vocal and get in the face of this thing right now in a way that makes you seem insensitive to what's going on, you're going to get dinged. That's the moment.
Yep.
That's the moment we're in. In the same way.
And rightfully so.
In the same way that there were businesses in the 1950s that said, I'm going to let black people come and eat at my restaurant. I'm going to let them sit among white people. Those people got dinged.
Yeah.
They got dinged in the other direction.
A sandwich shop in Davis, California has closed after the franchise owner made a statement likening the Black Lives Matter organization, which is really a movement more than an organization, an anti-racism advocacy group, to the KKK, which I will still argue it should have been the Ku Klux Klan. Three K's. You fucked that up, white supremacists.
Even though Ku is probably what it should have been.
But it should be
Ku Klux Klan. It's easier.
How did you guys screw that up, you idiots? I'm excited to see the logic applied on this one.
Okay.
A movement that requests that black lives be valued at a time when they're not, compared to a vicious terrorist organization.
Cross-burning, murderous.
Trying to hold on for dear life to the notion of white power.
Right.
It's going to be fun to hear the mental gymnastics used
because there's no easy
required
way
to make this false equivalency from a guy who owns a frickin' sandwich shop.
A sandwich artist, maybe. I don't know.
Mickey Mann.
Not Mickey Mantle.
Mickey Mann. He does not even, he should not be given the mantle of Mickey Mantle.
Mann. The extra N is for nope.
Nincompoop. Mickey Mann, the franchise owner of a Mr. Pickles sandwich shop. Already you're starting in the hole there, buddy. Had his store shut down by corporate after an email he sent to his staff was reshared on social media. Yep, that's going to get sent out, dude.
Yep.
Mr. Pickles. Well, if your sandwich shop is named Mr. Pickles, people are not going to take anything you say seriously.
What are you talking about?
Especially
Mr. Pickle. There's gravitas in every single word. There's gravitas in every single bite.
Are you saying you relish his takes?
I do relish his takes.
I relish himself digging himself a giant hole with a kosher dill spear.
Well, he's trying.
As seen on Twitter, Mann's aggressive email begins warning his staff that the turmoil in the store will not be resolved to your liking. Wendy Weitzel?
Is that of
Weitzel's Pretzels?
Weitzel's
Pretzels? No, of the Davis Enterprise reported that Mann wrote the email after an employee wore a Black Lives Matter pin to work, bringing, quote, politics into the store.
A pin. A single piece of flair.
That's right.
That's it.
Who knows?
A pin.
A
pin that said BLM. If you don't look closely, you might not see it.
Maybe it would bring more business into your store.
That's what I said.
Did you ever think that?
That's what I said.
Did you ever think that? Black people like pickles too.
Yes, they do.
I think they do.
Maybe it's the type, as we said before, maybe this is the type of thing that builds.
Someone sees that and is like, I love this place.
That's my sandwich shop.
I love that the owner of this sandwich, of this Mr. Pickles, allows their workers to express themselves. They're in on the fight. I love you, Mr. Pickles.
And maybe Mr. Pickle transitions into Mrs. Pickle.
That's right. The letter then goes on to emphasize that the owner does not support Black Lives Matter. Great that you're putting that out there.
Yeah, make sure you let the world know that.
Which he both underlines and highlights in red. Great. Keep that shit to yourself.
Yeah.
Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Even if you disagree with it, you have to recognize that it is sweeping the world right now.
So what I say in this moment is, okay.
And it's based in justice for all.
I will tell you right now, if you feel the need to put that out, you're a bad businessman.
That's right.
You're a bad business person. If your goal in your life is to be successful in your business, you got to understand the times. Understand, develop, move and shake.
Be nimble.
Even if it's a fraud, even if it's a lie to you, even if it burns you up in your very soul. If business is what matters to you, and if you want to be a businessman and hang on to your business,
want to be a successful business,
help it grow, then lie. Bite your tongue, bro.
Let me put it in terms that he might understand. This is like making the perfect Georgia Reuben sandwich. You have the right amount of everything.
Zingerman's Deli.
Coleslaw, turkey, melted Swiss, toasted rye.
Russian dressing.
You disregard any part of that, you are going to have a problem. That's like in our society. The whole sandwich falls apart. But I wouldn't expect you, man, to understand how the sum of something is always greater than the individual parts.
Yeah, go on hating Black Lives Matters. Do that.
It only works when everybody is given his or her right place at the table.
That's right.
That's a hard one for man to understand here. Okay, go on hating Black Lives Matter.
Yeah, why? Maybe you shouldn't bring this to work.
Yeah.
Maybe this is not something you need.
Listen, it's your business, and we're not going to tell you how to run it, but understand that there are consequences to this closed-minded stance. There are. There just are.
And also digging in and going deep. Like, this guy didn't just casually be like...
He keeps going. I have never, and I never will. You do not have arguments that can change my man. So you're in...
Change my mind.
So my man. And my mind.
Right.
The mind of a man.
Right.
The mind of Mencia. The mind of Mancia.
All right. So you're incapable of change. So that's what you're saying right now.
What about the menu change you made last month? You made that change. So you're incapable of any change?
So even if someone came to you and said, hey, man, this is actually good for business if you come out and embrace
You're going to keep that avenue closed?
Yep. Not going to change my mind.
Later in the letter, he claims that his staff is trying to force and are continuing to try and force your beliefs on me before stating BLM is the flip side of the KKK. So this is like the reverse argument of there were good people on all sides.
Right.
So there's good people, good protesters. There's good white supremacists.
So BLM is 3 letters and KKK is 3 letters. I think that's where the comparison stops.
That's where it stops, Mr. Pickles. I can't believe we're even having this. Their tactics are out of a mafia playbook. Wait, are we talking about the mafia or KKK?
I don't know.
Or the Ku Klux Klan?
Are you going to get the Gestapo involved?
Why not throw them on
that
there?
against the wall
Why
and see
not?
how that sticks?
They are no better than some of the worst oppressive regimes in the world. Wait, you have now gone from the KKK to the mafia
to oppressive totalitarian regimes. How is that? Yes.
How are they like oppressive governments, the BLM? They're not a government.
No. He's saying they have so much power that they have to walk and march in the streets just to get their voices heard.
Right. They have so much power that they need to protest against some other form that has way less power than them because they're the oppressors.
Right.
They have to go out and to weaker people try and make the case through protesting that Black Lives Matter.
Well, that's why Black Lives Matter has gotten so much legislation passed in the last several years because they run
insane. They run everything.
They run this damn town.
That's exactly. That's what oppressive governments do. They just run rampant all over the law.
Right.
The lengthy letter went on. Lengthy letter. No one wants to hear this letter that you emailed out.
Who is it to?
To all of his employees. Went on to accuse more of his staff of bullying him and attempted oppression. Your staff is not trying to oppress you.
You can fire them.
Because one person wore a BLM pin. Like, now is the time for you to show restraint and show, like, how does their support of Black Lives Matter
This is where his argument
Mickey?
falls apart like a bag of wet kettle chips.
Okay, the owner accused employees of libel, slander, and threats and said the police department has been alerted of the events. According to Weitzel, man called the police claiming that he was concerned his business would be vandalized by protesters. So it hasn't been vandalized yet.
But it could be in any moment.
It could be in it.
Hasn't that stopped? Has that stopped?
I think so.
I think the vandalizing and looting has stopped.
Hey, dummy, our cousin who owns a building in Los Angeles had it vandalized. And you know what she did? She was very upset about it, but you know what she did? She sent her 15-year-old daughter with her friend over to the building, and they painted on a wood thing in the center of the front of the building a Black Lives Matter poster.
Yeah.
Yeah. They painted that on...
And she's a business person, and she lost money because of this.
And that's how upset she was. She stood with the movement. So not all businesses...
You don't have to do that.
Yeah, exactly. So proclaiming that even though her building was damaged, it doesn't damage her resolve to be down with the cause.
Yeah,
Why is that so hard?
It's not a
Why
hard...
is that so hard?
Well, it is...
More importantly, she didn't blame the Black Lives Matter movement for the looters. She didn't. For the damage
she was able to
separate the two.
Like a mature person, separate the two things.
Well, the way you separate the fat on a lean brisket sandwich. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You separate the fat off and then you just have the lean brisket. You know how to... I'm probably speaking over your head here when I say this.
You are.
To close out the email, man stated that he had no fear of fake Yelp reviews designed to bend me to your will. I have no fear of any or all of your quitting. We started the store with 0 employees, so if necessary, we will rebuild from 0 again. He is acting like he's being held hostage by his workers. He did not state whether or not he was concerned about the store being closed. Here is the guy.
He's a guy who's trying to boost morale. That's all he's doing.
He's basically fighting back at something that hasn't happened yet. I don't understand what he's doing.
He's trying to get out in front of a fight that may or may not happen.
Classic Mr. Pickles. He looks like he looks at the pickle jar as half sour.
Always.
That's who this guy is. Go ahead. And I can't believe I'm actually going to make this statement, but politicize it, Mr. Pickles. Politicize it if you can.
Yeah.
You can also send out an email that says, I support all of my workforce in their social and political beliefs. I just ask that while you're working at the store to keep any and all political pins and messages off your clothing.
Yeah.
How difficult is that?
That's the same policy for both sides.
So what he's saying is, I support you.
I wonder if she came in with a MAGA pin, if he would have told her, if he would have written this letter.
Well, he said it's the same policy for the right or the left, just to keep the store neutral. But again, I support you all and your voice outside the workplace. How's that? To end the email.
How hard would that have been for him to say that?
Man, put in there will be no pins, no tip jars, no discussions of BLM in my store. And those who stay on, you will need to show appreciation and gratitude for my capitulation that you achieved. What the F? What capitulation? They've capitulated nothing.
Nothing.
You mean the capitulation of justice and equality that should have been bestowed upon all men and all women, regardless of race? Mm-hmm. That capitulation? What is the thing that you, Mr. Pickles, had capitulated?
Nothing. You kowtowed to no one.
It's so Trumpian, too, by the way,
yes.
to say you can't wear any pins. If you want to keep working, just shut up and be happy you have a job. Shut up and dribble. Shut up and be happy you have a job, and thank me for it.
Yeah.
I want gratitude.
And I want big thank yous. I want loud thank yous.
Thank you, boss. Thank you for your lack of understanding on this. We really appreciate you, you dumbass. Mr. Pickles Corporate called Mann's statements alarming and painful. In a message posted on Instagram, the sandwich company went on to state that he had made the decision to terminate his franchise and is now permanently closed to business. Oh. However, Mr. Pickles did not say if the location reopens, if it will be under Mann's leadership. So this might be the, hey, we're breaking up the band and then we're going to reform without you.
Right.
Pickle style.
I think it is.
So to clarify, there's a corporate Mr. Pickles and Mickey Mann just owned a franchise. So he's not spouting off representing his own business. He's spouting off doing it on Mr. Pickles' letterhead, which is even worse because now there's a corporate thing that you got to answer
to. Have to deal with that.
He's in a bit of a pickle, if you will.
She should have checked the actual Mr. Pickle letterhead.
Since the fallout, Mann has said in an interview that he defends his statements, claiming that he does not allow politics in his shop and insisted he would not allow a MAGA hat in his store either. Well, that's nice of him.
Okay, good.
However, he does reportedly regret sending the email. He only regrets
it because he lost the business.
No, he only regrets sending the email.
Doesn't regret writing it.
Doesn't regret what says
Doesn't regret
there.
what he wrote in it, but he regrets it because it cost him money.
Again,
That's it.
If he had not gone in so hard on the BLM movement, which only gives more oxygen to why we need the movement, he would not be in this situation.
Right.
Mr. Pickle is going to rain down dill juice on this fool until he gets it right. And we aren't people who
By the way, we don't believe in the stay in your lane, but in this case,
we don't say just make sandwiches. We don't want to hear your political views, Mr. Pickle. No, we're more specific. Just don't make ridiculous political
false equivalencies. Don't do that. Just don't create a situation where you're telling regular people on a small level what they can and can't do.
I saw this piece about, and it was on CNN, about this couple that lived in Phoenix, lived in the suburbs, and they were Republicans, but they've had enough. And they really believe that they wanted to get out and protest. So they went on their corner, this older white couple, and they had signs that said Black Lives Matter, and they held them up. And people in their subdivision, some people honked and yelled at them and gave them the finger and whatnot. Other people said thank you. But they stood out there and they said, this is the right thing to do. Even though we're Republicans, even though I don't believe in a lot of the issues that Biden said, I have to hold this sign. Like, it meant something to those people.
Right.
Why can't you be that person?
Right.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Like,
you don't have to, and we fight this fight on this listserv that we're on all the time.
We fight this fight as in the first story we told.
We fight this fight all the time. Just because you believe in humanity and taking care of people and having them be equal rights, it doesn't make you any less of a man, doesn't make you any less of a Republican, doesn't make you any less of a patriot, doesn't make you any less of a human being. In fact, it makes you more of a human being.
Just think of the acid of Mr. Pickle. If he had just, poisoned their thoughts.
Yeah.
If they had just had their thoughts poisoned by the acid of Mr. Pickle.
Yeah, he thought it was a big pickle.
Yep. In the end, just a mini dill.
A cornichon, really.
A cornichon, if you will.
A tiny little cornichon. You're a cornichon in the giant jar of life, bro.
That's it.
You showed your true dill color. Warts and all.
Warts and all.
All right. That's a show.
There we go. Sorry if this was intense today.
A little heavy. We got into it, but hey.
Sometimes
That's what happens when
you
mix it up with the people out there.
That's right. Guys, we'll see you tomorrow. Hope you're well. Stay protected. Stay connected. Don't get infected. Punch a water faucet, then go wash your hands. We'll see you tomorrow.
La-ti-da, la-ti-da-ti-da-ti-da, la-ti-da-da-da.